Hello my lovely subscribers. Today's project is, as always, a very easy one. We'll be making a cowl kaftan or cowl gown, and we'll need 3.5 or 3 yards of fabric depending on your height. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on all notifications as I upload videos on this channel weekly. Let's go straight to our work table. So on this piece of pattern paper, I've marked my shoulder slope. Then I've measured my hip line, which is from the nape of my shoulder to my hip line, and that's 24.5 inches. You have to measure yours because it's not same for everyone. Then I measured 35 inches, which is from my shoulder line to a little bit above my knee. I'll just say by my thigh, so you measure the length you want the cowl to fall to. Okay, so it's up to you. You can make it shorter or longer than this. So basically that's what I've measured. Then for the width, I've measured 25 inches. Okay, I measured 25 inches, and this is the actual width of my fabric. I'm using a lace fabric and it's a width of 50 inch. Okay, so for the 50 inch, that's why I'm using 25 inches. If you're using something wider or smaller, you determine how the width you want to work with. Then the entire pattern paper is about the full length plus 2 inches seam allowance. So the full length of this dress is 60 inch, and I added 2 inches for my seam allowance. So that's a total of 62 inches. Now we have to create out our neckline. So you decide the kind of neck you want. I'm working with a neck of 5 inch width and 4 inch depth. This depends on, again, what you want. Okay, so if you don't want it too wide, consider shortening it to be a bit shorter than 5 inches. Okay, and 4.5 is also moderate. Now for the depth, I'm working with 4 inch depth. Now we just need to link up these points to create our neckline. I'm working with a shoulder of 16 inch, so we apply half of that, which is 8 inches. Okay, we're applying it on our shoulder slant. This 8 inches, but because it's a free dress, we don't want it to be exactly on 8 inches. We'll just add a little ease to the shoulder line, okay, so that it comes out beautiful. So you can add ½ inch or 1 inch, depends on what you want. I'm going with 1 inch, so that by the time I sew out my ½ inch by attaching the sleeves, I will still arrive at 8.5. I hope this makes sense. So this is my 9 inch width. Okay, so I'll just extend my shoulder slope to the end of the pattern. So the neckline is done. Now we need to create out our curve on this point. Okay, so what we need to measure now is our hip circumference divided by 4. So I'm working with a hip circumference of 48 inches. Now 48 inches divided by 4 is 12 inches. Okay, then we're going to add 2 inches to that because it's a free dress and we need a little ease. Now if you've added 2 inches, it comes to 14 inches. So we'll further add ½ inch, our seam allowance, so that by the time you sew it, you still have your 14 inch. So we'll now have 14.5 at this point. We'll simply move our 14.5 to the bottom as well. So we're going to apply same 14.5 on the bottom of this pattern. Okay, we'll link it up with our neckline. So what we're going to do next is to determine the midpoint between our knee line and the hip line. Okay, so knee line to hip line is 9.5 inches. So the midpoint will be 4.75, which is half of that. So from this point, we're going to create a curve. We create a curve from this knee line to connect to the hip line, okay? So when we create this curve to that point, then from this point, we're going to come in. We're going to come in by 3 inches because we don't want it looking sharp at this point. We want it a bit curved from that point until we get to the top. I hope this makes sense. Then we're further going to measure about 9 inches upwards so that we'll connect to this point and connect to this 9 inches, then take it further to the shoulder line. Next, we're going to create the armhole before we create our sleeves, okay? We're using our basic sleeve pattern, so we don't need to cut sleeves for this one, okay? You already know how to make the basic sleeve pattern. We'll just apply this pattern to cut out our sleeves. So to create the armhole on this point, usually we use an average of 9 inches, okay? You can go below that if the person is very slim, but averagely for an adult, 9 inches should do. So I'll just measure my 9 inches from this point. I hope you can see how I placed my French curve so that it goes in a little bit. Now we're all done with this. Next, we just have to cut out our pattern. My pattern on fabric, and this is what it looks like. So first I'll just sew up the shoulders, then I'll turn the neckline with a bias binding, okay, before we sew up the sides. I'll also sew this shoulder extension, okay. So I've sewn the shoulders and I've also turned the neck with my bias binding. Now, I also went ahead to join up the sides. So I've also made the side seams. The next thing we'll do now is to attach the sleeves. I've sewn the sides of the sleeve. So now we need to attach this point to our armhole. Okay, and how we'll do that is to pin it in place. So to do that, we'll turn the sleeves the right way and we'll pin the top to the end of the shoulder sleeve. Then we'll pin that in place. Then we'll also pin the bottom to the armhole. So the armhole part of the sleeve goes to the shoulder extension that we did on our dress. So we'll just pin that in place like so. Okay, so we'll pin this point as well, and we'll pin the other side too. So once you've pinned it all around, we're going to, once we pin it, we'll just sew around the armhole and the sleeves will be done. When you're done with that, you just hem your dress. Okay, when you're done, you hem the bottom, and that's it. The dress is ready. It's so easy to make. It doesn't take more than 10 minutes to make this dress. If you have a wedding at 10 o'clock, you can actually start making it by 9:30 and you'll still attend your wedding on time. I hope this tutorial was interesting. Please give this video a thumbs up. Ensure to subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.